Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing coming to you with another tutorial. I actually watched a video over on Inky Owl Studios. I think her name is Jeanne or Jeanne. It's spelled Jeanne. So if you're watching, can you correct me? I don't like to get people's names wrong. Names are super important, but that I hadn't heard it, so I'm just like guessing based on the spelling. So anyway, she just created this incredible accordion flippy writing space thing using two number 10 business size envelopes. And so I went ahead and practiced. Practice makes better, right? Practice does not necessarily make perfect, but this one turned out okay, other than something I'm going to explain to you in a moment, and then we're going to make one ourselves. So I am working on what I'm calling a fairly eclectic journal for a friend of mine. So I will be letting her know that this video is going up on the channel so she doesn't watch it. That was her request, so to let her know. So we're going to work through it together. So I used Winnie the Pooh, which is one of the themes I'm putting in her journal, but I'm also doing some music stuff for her. So let me talk to you just a second. Well, I want to not forget to do the shout outs. So I don't know if you guys remember, but when we're doing the 3,000 subscriber giveaway, which was the Shabby Travel Journal, I asked you all to give me creators that you watch as to be part of the qualification for the drawing. We had 110 different creators that were suggested. So I'm just going to randomly pick a couple. I'm not going in any particular order. I'm going to go ahead and say this one, Be Again Books. That is Kathleen over there. I have not checked out her channel, so I will be doing that as well. And then the second one I want to point out is My Porch Prints. Just because I actually used their kit to create this. So those are our two. We're going to try to do two in every video just to get through them all. That's a lot of people. So, and I haven't watched them all, so I can't really speak to them, but these were the people that I love to watch, and that was what I was looking for. So what this is it's a little accordion thing, and I'm going to talk to you about this added piece here in a minute. But basically you take two business size envelopes and you put them together in such a way that you get this flippy business. Well, I didn't like that it pops up like that, so I hope you guys can see that. See how it just pops open? So I went ahead and created this vellum strip, and what I did is underneath this backing paper, I glued it down, and then I estimated based on my ephemera how tight it needed to be on the bottom, and then I put some Velcro here and on the base of the vellum strip, and then of course that is on the top of the backing paper, whereas this one's on the is underneath it. So but what was wrong with this is that I created all this ephemera ahead of time because I was trying to be proactive and really bright, and it didn't really work out very well. So all of my ephemera is upside down because the opening is on this side. So I know that my friend is not going to care about that, so I may just leave it, but I may redo it. I haven't decided. So basically, and this will make more sense in a second, we're going to create this thing where you've got pockets here. Pockets right here. Just slides right in. So that's what these are, but they are all upside down. All upside down. So each of the pockets is a different height. So you've got a pocket that is this total length. You've got a pocket that's this length. You've got a pocket that's this length, and then you've got the little one. So that didn't work out so well for me. I love how this turned out. I probably will remake the ephemera. I'll probably use this ephemera in the journal, but I'll probably make some more stuff to put in there because I'm not liking that at all. So let me set that aside. We're done with that. So on this one, we're going to be working with these musical instruments. So I asked her if she would allow me to make a journal for her. She is homebound, and she's not somebody that I have met in person, but I know her just through interacting with her. And so I asked her if she would allow me to. It took her a little while to respond and be okay with that, because sometimes receiving something from another person can be difficult. So I waited, and then she got back to me, and so I asked her, what are all the things that you love? And she had so many things that she loves, and so I'm going to put them all into one journal, and I'm so stinking excited. I'm so excited. So we're going to make this using this music paper today. So basically what you need for the project is you need 2 number 10 envelopes. So I believe these measure, see, they're 9.5 ish. They're not quite 9.5. They're not quite. They're 9 3/8 by, let's see, by 4 1/8 or so. And then you're gonna need a base page, or not a base. This is your topper page. So this is what's going to make this. Okay, so you want to pick something that, I mean, this worked out just fine, but it's not as interesting as something like this, because you can't tell that it was a solid image to start with. But that's what I had to work with, so that's what I did. But we're going to use this beautiful guitar, and I will be sure to link the Etsy store that I got this from. So you're going to need that, and then you're going to need some paper for creating the paper that's going to be written on. So that's going to make more sense as we go through the project. And what I did with my, we're going to walk through doing one, but I'm going to use this as my base, because I want to make sure that nothing is off when I haven't actually cut anything. So we should be good to just create another one. The girl that I watched, she did her measurements a little bit different. She did hers 2 inches apart each, and so this top flap ended up being smaller than I wanted, and so I'm reversing that. I'm making each of them 1.5 inches. Sorry, that's upside down. 1.5 inches, and then this turns out to be 2 3/8 inches. And then these measurements are the size of a piece of ephemera that can go in each of these pockets. So 2 1/4 by 3 7/8. This one's 3 3/4 by 3 7/8. 5 1/4 by 3 7/8. That's a max size. 6 3/4 by 3 7/8. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. So you need some backing paper. I printed on 65-pound paper because I just despise 20-pound. It wrinkles, and it just, I don't like it. So I'm going to sacrifice that for a little extra bulk in the project, and I'm going to be okay with that. I cut out some pieces of ephemera, just the base, because I didn't want to go put tabs on them and have them all be backwards and upside down again. So we'll come back to these, and each of these has the measurements as well, so that we can review that when we get to that point. So I'm going to set that over there out of the way, and what we're going to start with is our envelopes, obviously. Goodness gracious. So the first thing you want to do is glue these shut. So I'm going to use my art glitter glue to glue them. And I'm also going to kind of examine any of these flappy bits to make sure that they're glued down. I mean, we can do that as we go as well, but you're going to glue both flaps down. There we go. Okay. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to take off just a smidge off the side of these envelopes. So one thing I learned in my playing around and experimenting is that if I put them both the same way, I get this problem. So see how these 2 flaps, you don't see the closure, the flap, but these ones you do, and I think that's just the way that I turned them. So I'm going to do that a little bit differently. So I'm going to go ahead and do them face to face like this, face to face like that. Okay, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Most of everything is going to get covered over, but in case I don't want to cover this part, so your paper is going to go here, but this will be white. So I misstated that. That'll make more sense here as we go along, guys. I promise. I promise. Okay, so we're just going to cut off a sliver of this. I'm just going to keep them stacked. It's not going to be too big of a deal. And just going to put that barely in there. You know, actually I'm going to do one at a time because I had problems with this on my prototype because they weren't exactly lined up and it didn't quite catch the edge of one, and then I had to use my scissors to do it. So yeah, there we go. So we're just taking a sliver off, just enough to open up that edge. Okay, there we go. There we go. That should be just perfect. We're going to need this cutter quite a bit, so I'm going to just kind of move it over there just a bit. So then we've got them facing each other. You want to make sure that your flaps, your openings are both on the same side. And I am going to clear this nozzle so that I can glue some of these extra bits. So for some reason our glitter glue is not happy. And pardon the drilling outside of my door. My husband is working on a project. So he's finishing it up. We can glue those others as we go along. So you want them face to face. You want the openings on the same side. Then kind of turn them this way, and you're going to bring this top envelope down. Let's try that differently. Nope, can't do that. It's not going to work. We're still going to have something that's going to show there. So, gosh darn it, I wish I could do this differently, but I think it might be better this way. We're going to find out together, aren't we? So we're going to measure 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to make a tick mark at 1.5 inches. And this is, again, going to make sense as we go along. And then you're just going to butt this envelope, the top envelope, up to that line. And then just make sure that your side that is not open is the one that's parallel, that's straight, okay? And then we're going to go 1.5 inches from that mark. Okay, so from this edge of the top of this envelope, we're going to go 1.5 inches again. Okay, like that. And then we're not going to glue anything yet. We got another flap that needs to be tended to here. And then we're going to fold this piece up. So we're not attached yet. We're just going to take this top one and fold it up, like so, to meet that 1.5 inch line. And you could make those a different height if you wanted to. So that's what we're doing there. And then this flap folds up as well. Okay, so this is gonna, and then when we reverse it, this is gonna be the top. So let me get my bone folder. You want to make sure that you get this nice and pressed down. And then get that really burnished well. Those are our two major folds. So now you're going to turn this so that this flap, which would be your smallest flap in terms of what you folded over, well, not really in this case because we changed the dimensions, but basically if you left it like this, obviously it would be wrong because it'd be opening this way. So just intuitively you would turn it so that your flaps are going up. So then what you're going to do is you're going to glue this edge to this crease. And I've struggled with this and struggled with this, so hopefully it will go better this time. So part of my problem is I fuss with it before it has a chance to dry. You need very, very little glue there because you kind of want it just to go into the crease and not be, right into that fold. So I'm hoping that's making sense. Hopefully. No, that's wrong. Wrong way. Goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. This has been a rough thing for me to experiment with. I've had lots of challenges. So the other thing one could do is sew along that, and that would solve that problem of gluing altogether. But I think we're going to be okay. So then there we are. So the very next step is we're going to go ahead and ink all of the edges of this just so we don't have to do it later. So I will be back in a quick moment and we'll go on. Okay, just about done with the inking here. I forgot to get a piece to cover the back. I might have to work on that here while we're on camera. Completely forgot it. So there, we're all inked. I didn't want to ink this because I don't want that to stand out, because that's part of our little accordion, not accordion, our waterfall. I kept saying accordion, didn't I? I didn't mean accordion, waterfall. So now you're going to grab your paper that you want to be your writing paper. I just happened to print on this coffee dyed lined paper. It's from a digital kit that I purchased, so I will try to remember to link it. So we're going to first cut it down to the width that this is. So I am going to leave a little bit of a margin there, not take it all the way to the edge, and I'm just going to trim that. See what we got going on here. There we go. Okay, set that aside, and I think they're the same size. I discovered them. Yep, nope, not quite. Not quite. That means we'll have to cut another one, won't we? No, I don't think we do. Unless you want to cover these, then you would want to have another piece of paper to cover there. But I'm thinking I might. Yeah, I can't, because that's. I don't like that those flaps are there. I don't recall how she managed that. So the first thing that you're going to do is, let's ink this as well, because I'm inking it all as one piece, because I want to make sure that I don't ink the separations, because that would defeat the purpose of the waterfall look. Okay, so then you're going to go ahead and slide this under your first flap, okay, right there. And then we're going to sorry, lost my way. Okay, so put it in that space, then close it like that. And then you're going to make a line, and not straight here. Be straight, Cara-Renee. And then we're going to make a line. I went about 1/4 of an inch. It does not have to be perfect, so I'm just going to go with that. And I'm just going to put this in my trimmer. And okay, so that's our first piece. And again, we don't want to ink this edge, because then it won't be a seamless waterfall. So then you're going to do the same. I'm trying to keep that in where I can use it. So that was that one. So then you go under the next flap and you do the same exact thing. So again, I'm lining it up here so that I don't have, I actually said to line it up on your solid side, but do as I say, not as I do. And then I'm trying to keep these as consistent as possible, just so it looks, well, it's not going to show now that I think about it. It's not going to show, which again will make sense in the near future. So we're going to ink this edge, because it's not the separating edge, so that's going to go in there like that. Okay, and then we've got one more. So that's under, let's see, get this straight again. Goodness gracious, that's that one. And then this is our leftover piece, so I think that's where we needed another piece. That's what I'm thinking. So let me grab another piece, and I'm going to cut it to this width. So I'm just going to do this so I don't have to guess about it. I'm just going to make a little pencil mark there. But I hope that you'll go over and check out her channel. I love to do inspired videos and point people back to the person that I watched it on. I think that's the honorable thing to do. And so I hope that you'll go over and check her out. So this was this. I get so confused so easily. So that's that. And then, so then this one, it will be the same. We're just going to slide this under after we ink it and create another bit. Need to change my sponge. It's all crummy. So then we're going to lift that up and slide this under here, just the same. And again, just lining it up with an edge. You know, what do you do? And then we're going to fold that back down, and we're going to make our 1/4 inch mark again, 1/4 inch-ish, you know. Just try to be as consistent as you can. If that's important to you. Again, it's going to be covered up. So there we go. So we're going to flip that one so that we don't have the inked edge on the bottom. So now what we're going to do is we're going to glue, you're going to glue these in. So this one's going to go here with the inked edge at the top going in there, and so on. So I'm going to go ahead and I won't cut it out, but I will speed it up just for the sake of the video. Okay, there we go. So that's what that should look like. That one's a little bit crooked. Goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. Let's see if we can fudge that. Let's see if we can fudge it down a little bit. I love Fabri-Tac because it allows you to do that. So that's what you've got, okay? So now what you're going to do is you're going to get your other paper. This is going to be our picture for the front that's going to get broken up by the cutting. So I believe that I measured this and it would fit top to bottom, but let me just make sure here really quick. So this is exactly, we're going to call it 6 7/8. So let me just jot that down. Short-term memory loss. 6 7/8. So if I go from the top of the guitar to it, I believe it was going to cut off just a smidge of this color down here at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a mark here, about right there, so I can see that. And let's just trim that. We're just going to go piece by piece so that we don't mess it up. So that I don't mess it up, I guess is what I mean. You guys aren't doing it, at least not right now. I hope you try it. It's definitely one I'm going to add to my repertoire of ideas. So then I'm just going to make sure that we're still okay with this. So that was 6 7/8. So right here, and we're going to be able to clear that, the tip of the guitar, so we're going to just make a pencil line there and trim that. I'm trying to get this video done. I tried to do it earlier and it was a bomb. I was having trouble with my glue, and where is the cutting line? Goodness gracious. Right there. Three of our grandkids, oh, that's the wrong mark. That's okay. Are coming over for the night, for the evening, or overnight rather. So, trying to, where is my, why am I having trouble? I do this all the time. Is it right there? Hopefully. Yeah, good enough. Hopefully that's good enough. I'm just going to erase that mark. It might be a little high, but we'll trim it off. So then we need to measure side to side. So so we're going to lose some of our this beautiful color that's bouncing around, which is absolutely gorgeous. So I think I'm just going to go, I want the tip of the guitar to be kind of at the top, so I'm just going to make a mark here, not quite to the edge, and a mark here, not quite to the edge. And then we'll be ready to move on to the fun part here. I usually have these things pre-cut, but I wanted to show you how it worked because I did have some trouble with my prototype. So, okay, there we go. So that is all you need. We don't need the cutter anymore. And there we go. So then what you're going to do is you're going to, well, we're going to ink this. So again, we're going to ink the whole piece just so that we don't risk inking something that we don't want to be inked, because if you ink it, it's not going to look separated. Hopefully I've got my brain around this time. So So then what you're going to do is you're going to cover this piece, and then you're going to cover this, and then you're going to cover this, or that's your line. So we're going to cover up that overlapping writing space, which is genius. I don't know who thought this up, but it is genius. So I gotta move that over so I can glue it. So what you do is glue this on and then trim it off while it's glued on. It works just fine. I've tried it. So again, I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac just so that I have the opportunity to move it around and make adjustments. It's always a win-win. Fabri-Tac is my favorite glue, so I'm going to kind of go like this because I want to make sure I don't get any oozing glue on the other flaps. So we're just going to line that up. Make sure that we're good on both sides. Yep. Okay, give that a good press and just hang on a second. I don't think I printed a piece of vellum for this, so I'm going to have to do that. I'll probably just, since you saw this, I'll probably just do it off camera, and basically I'll just put some decoration on the front just like I did here. But basically I just cut, it doesn't matter the width. This is just over 2 inches, and it's the height, or the let's see, the height of a page. It's 8.5 inches basically. It's 8.5 inches, and so that's what you're working with. So, but you don't have to do that. It's totally optional. So I'm going to trim this off. I turned it over. I'm trimming it off, making sure that I don't cut that envelope open. So there we go. Okay, so again, we don't want to ink that edge, right? Because we want it to look seamless. So then you're not gonna cut this anymore. You're just gonna do the same. You're gonna continue. Okay, so we're gonna glue that on there and go from there. So I'm gonna leave that in place, and then yeah. So and sorry, you do want to put glue on this whole piece. Same with this. You're gonna put it on this whole piece, and so on and so on. So you do want to get up in that area. That's the writing paper overlap. Okay, there we go. Looking good. Okay, so we're just going to slide that in. We don't want it to constrict it one way or the other. We want it to remain seamless. So I'm just going to kind of turn this so I can see it a little bit better. There we go. Making sure that it's lining up on the sides, obviously. Okay, there we go. Oh, we got some ink, or we got some glue on there. Hold on, let me grab my towel. Oh, I didn't want that to happen. This is white paper. I do have a cement and a glue eraser thing, so that took it off though. Pretty nice. Okay, so and then we're going to turn this over, making sure that's not sticking. Cara-Renee, and we're going to. Oh, we got some oozing glue. It's like, what's going on? So again, we're going to trim this. Be careful not to open your envelope. I mean, if you did, it's not the end of the world. It just changes the landscape of your pockets, because then you have to, you're going to lose landscape from the glue. Okay, so same thing. Just button it right up there. Again, turn this any way you need to get the angle that you need to see if things are straight, okay? There we go. Gosh, I just love this project so much. I love writing space in journals, so this is just right up my alley. I will probably line that with some paper, the same paper, off camera. So there we got that, and now we can turn this over and trim off this last little bit. Hopefully we've got enough to cover the end. We should. I did change a little bit of my folds from my prototype, so hopefully this is going to be okay. It is. We have a little extra. So same thing. I just love people that think these ideas up. I've had some original ideas, but not very many. There's so much inspiration out there. It's crazy. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and do the same here. Let's get that on there. Turn it however you need to. And I would advise using Fabri-Tac or something that allows you the time to move it, because you don't want these to be off. Okay, so just trying to line that up just a little bit better. It can't be perfect, you guys, so. Okay, so there we go. That is it. There she is. She flips up, writing space. Flips up, we got some glue there. Writing space, writing space, writing space, okay? And you know what? I am going to go ahead and pause my camera, and I'm going to go ahead and print the image on vellum, and I'll be right back. Okay, I decided to go ahead and go with clear vellum instead of the print because I couldn't remember. I had to resize these to work, and I printed this, and it's not the same size, so I don't remember which adjustments I did, so that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and just continue. This is so fun. So because we don't have an image on it, we can go the lengthwise and not worry about how much we need, and we can just take it off right off of the side. So I'm going to just turn this, and I'm going to go about, let's see, I better do that the other way. I want it to be about 2 inches wide. I think it's approximately what I did. I didn't measure last time I just did it. So let's just trim that up. Okay. This is much easier. I don't know why I was thinking I had to do a print when the clear vellum shows what is underneath it beautifully. So let's take a moment to ink at least the edges of this, because we'll have to trim the sides. So okay. Okay, so what we're going to do, well, we do know that one end is going to be okay. And we're only putting one piece of ephemera in every pocket, so we should be okay on bulk. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in place kind of right over the center of the neck of the guitar, and I'm just going to fold that, give it a crease. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. I'm just going to use my art glitter glue though. Oh. And we'll work on the little ephemera. It's not much. I'm not doing anything super elaborate with it. Okay, there we go. So that is that. So beautiful. I just love this project. Oh, we need to ink this bottom edge. Goodness gracious. No harm there. And everything else is looking, oh, we're not even. What happened? We're not even. Let me trim that off. That was strange. I thought we did that. Weird, weird. Okay. So, so what I did before is I kind of brought it down, and then I allowed, I'm just going to make a mark just so I know where to fold and I can erase it. So I think I went down like about 1/8 of an inch, just an 1/8 of an inch gap there. I think. Let me see how that works. No, more than that, because that's taken up in the fold itself, so that won't work. So I'm going to lay this flat. Goodness gracious. I'm going to move down a little bit to here, and then I'm going to try to just estimate that. Still not enough. Goodness gracious. How about we don't mark it and we just fold it? So I want that to stay nice and flat, but I want, this is what I needed to do and what I did on my prototype. Bring this up like that and just leave yourself a little bit of a of room there to grow, so to speak, like about that. Okay, that was what I was aiming for. It just wasn't really working so well for me. I'm going to go ahead and ink that edge. And then I'm going to get, we can trim this off though, because, oh, we're not going to glue that on yet though, guys. So I want to make sure that cut is straight. So I'm going to just bring the cutter over here, because I want to make sure that that's nice and straight. Okay, there you go. Because this part is going to show, because it's going to go on top of the backing paper. And let me see if I've got anything that we could actually use this. Couldn't we? Couldn't we? We could do that. Let's just do that, and I will trim it off. Oh, no. I should have cut this before. My gosh. Do I have anything else that's better over here? No, let's use the writing paper, because then it could be written on the back as well. Bonus. I'm just reaching behind me to grab stuff I already have printed here. So let me just trim my white edges off. I tried to get a printer that was borderless and all this fancy stuff, and I ended up going back to my tried and true printer, which will not print borderless. It's an HP old model office jet printer, and it is a gem. I love it so much. There we go. Get those white edges off of that. So now I can just kind of trace around. Well, I can't trace around it because I don't want it to go completely to the edge. I am not a big measurer, you guys, so I'm just gonna go like that, and I'm gonna go like that, and I'll just go inside those lines a little bit. And we will be just about done shortly. Inside a little bit. Oh, what the heck? What was I looking at? That wasn't inside. I must have been looking at one of the coffee dyed lines that this beautiful digital has. So I'm just gonna do that again. Really didn't get it to the side. Do you ever have days like that? Days like that. Oh, that's actually quite perfect. So then we can, probably making this way harder than it needs to be. Okay, there we go. And we're just going to ink this really quick and slap it on so we can finish up. I didn't think about having it be a writing space. That's way more functional. Because when you release the Velcro, this writing space would be available. So the Velcro will go up on here, but the rest of that will be available to write on. So I'm going to put my Fabri-Tac on the back. These musical instruments, they're a PNG file, so they work great on a cutting machine. I just haven't made friends with my Silhouette yet. I tried this stuff with the Cricut. I had to get rid of the Cricut. It was not working on my computer because my internet is very slow. But the Silhouette seems to be fine. Seems to be loading fine, so we'll see. So we're going to put that back on there. And I'm just going to pick it up a little bit so I can look and move it. There we go. Beautiful writing space on the back as well. And that hides that top fold over of the vellum. And then I'm going to grab some Velcro. I have these really low profile ones, so even though, well, I'll probably put something on top of this so that those Velcro dots don't show through the vellum, but since doesn't have any print on it, it's a little bit more challenging. There we go. And I just put the dot the opposite way down so that it's going to be exactly where we want it to be. And we're just going to give that a little tug. Ah, come on, unstick from me. And we're going to just go ahead and do that. Hopefully it's going to work. Looks to be fine. Looks to be, oh, it's not though. It's not straight. Let's see if we can release it. Goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. Let's see if I can do that again. I think I can reuse those. I wasn't paying attention to where the vellum was lining up. If this sat any longer, I wouldn't be able to pull them up, but we're pretty quick there. So what I'm going to do, hold this up, make sure that my vellum is running straight along that edge. Okay, so I'm going to hold it like that. On the other side, push it down, and then go like that. Yeah, much better. Oh, the dots aren't too bad. So you can see it holds it down. We've still got room for some of the bulk. So again, this is going to be, oh, I just dropped a whole bunch of stuff on the floor. Hold on. This has not been a good creative flow day for me. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's get those away from the edge. So I already cut these again to fit in each of those pockets. So this one is the 2 1/4 by 3 7/8. So you can kind of play around with it here and just make sure it will fit in there. That is just fine. This one I think we have to glue. Do we have to glue that? Hold on. Let me undo this. It seems like we had to glue something before in my prototype, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just dreaming. Probably. So I'm going to ink all these pieces and I'll be back, but I wrote the measurements on here as well. But I already showed you the little piece of paper, so I think we should be good. And they're all musical instruments. So I will be right back. Okay. And so what I thought we would do, and this is another mistake I made on my prototype, is that my tabs, when I stuck everything in the pockets, the tabs were like overlapping. So I need to be thinking about that. So our opening is on the other side. So I'm going to just kind of get this in here, just line it up so I can decide where I want my tab to be. I think I want it to be towards the bottom. So I've got some tabs. I just took one of the images and I printed, I used my punch here to make this shape, which you guys have seen me make before if you've been watching me. And I'm just going to fold that like that. And just kind of fold it to meet itself there. And then I like to ink that edge. You can also, you know what, this time I think we'll do this differently. I think we will go ahead and cut it in half and ink those edges, because then you have that, you can have the decorative part out. So I'm going to go down towards the bottom on this one because I don't want it to interfere with the other bits of ephemera. So I'm going to use my art glitter glue this time, and I'm just going to unplug it again. I don't want it to stick out too much, but boy, oh boy, I feel like that nib is going to come right off. Spray glue everywhere. Done with that. Fabri-Tac is the man, or the woman. So we're going to just put that on here, kind of towards the bottom. Kind of a strange place to have it, but I don't want it to bump into other ones. Turn it over. Make sure it's kind of even-ish. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. And then we're going to glue the other one on the other side. I usually don't take the time to cut them in half so that I get this effect. So it's kind of fun to do something different. I will make sure I take a screenshot of these dimensions in case you're interested. It will obviously, you know, depend on what you're using in terms of envelopes. So then that means that tab's going to come down here. So let's go ahead and slide her in just to experiment here. It's going to slide into this big pocket like that. Why are we stuck? There we go. Oh, that's going to be so cool. I love it. I love it. Okay. So, the only other thing I'm going to do is put a word on it, but I'm going to leave these in. I'll put the words on it off camera, and you can see that in the photos at the end of the video. But that way we can kind of have that in place when we go to our next one. So this is the next smallest, so it's going to go there. So I think that tab would be probably good right there. So I'm going to grab another one. I'm going to go bright and beautiful here. I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half to get my center. I think that's the easiest at this point. You want to, when you cut them in half, you definitely want them to be measuring, you know, matching up, because otherwise you're going to have something weird. I'm going to ink that edge so I can see it. We're going to try to move it. We've got Fabri-Tac here. I don't know how that happened. Do you guys know? Wasn't paying attention is what happened. Let's try that again. Got a little mark there that's showing us where our paper was. Okay, so this needs to go down further. Right? We were talking about this. It needs to go about here. Was it there? Wasn't it just there? I'm losing my mind completely. Sorry for my head. Yeah, it's got to go down further because it's of where it sits in the pocket. So that's just fine. We're going to just keep on keeping on here. Just going to wipe that glue off that other place. I'll use the glue eraser if I need to get rid of the residue. It was going so well, wasn't it? It was going so well. Okay, I think this one's down further too, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta acquiesce. Acquiesce? Is that how you say that? Look at me trying to use big words I don't know. So then that one is here. So that's a perfect place for that tab. Awesome. Okay. So this one is going to go here. So its tab needs to go about there. So let's grab another one. How about this one? I'm going to go ahead and speed through this, guys, really quick. And our last one. So you'd think that I'd want to put the tab here, but I don't want to cover up that. Just lost my brain on that. And so this one is going to go, oh wait a minute. Yeah, it's going to go this way. Not a big deal. So let's just finish this up. please go over and check out Jeanne or Jeannie or whatever her proper name is over at Inky Owl Studios. I have watched a couple of her videos, but not a lot. And then check out, I will link the channels that we talked about at the beginning of the video so that you guys can go check them out. If you don't know who they are, you can do that. So I'm just going to put a sentiment on these and then we're going to say goodbye. Super easy. Where are we stuck though? There we go. So I have a few here, and I just got these black and white sentiments. They're from Rockwell Design Crafts. So I just want it to be really simple. So we're just going to put this on. No fanfare at all. Just easy peasy. Actually, I don't know if I want it up there. I think I want it down here. I don't normally do black and white. I don't favor it at all, but I love it with this these papers, so that's what we're gonna do. So let's see. Let's see. Let's just do peace on this one. There, and I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much for being here and for watching and bearing with me as I learn with you. You know what I say, I try really hard to not hide my imperfection, and so I show you all of it because I think that's how we learn, and that's how we learn that it's okay to make mistakes. So I will see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.